Alright, so this is the second video, guys, of how you film your vlog each week. We've done all the planning in the previous video. Now it's time to actually film it. There's a few things you can film on. Most likely all of you will have a phone. If you do have another good, nice camera, it's a really good option to use this. But you can even use an iPad, or literally the camera on your laptop might work if it's all you've got. There's a few things that you want to think about when you're filming. Number one, you want to ensure that your camera's on something sturdy. This could be a tripod if you have one. Most of you probably don't. So it may even just be making sure that your phone is propped up against something like a drink bottle, stacked on some books, on a chair, anything like that. Number two, think about your background. Your introduction and your conclusion, just something with a plain background, nothing too busy going on behind. You don't want to distract the person watching the video from what you're actually saying. The third one is the framing of your subject, you. As I just mentioned, any kind of distractions in the background, you can zoom in and crop these out just a little bit so that it's focused on the subject. And make sure that you're in the center of the shot as well. For the introduction and for the conclusions, you might want to crop the shot to be just head and shoulders like this one is here. But obviously when you're practicing your skill, you're going to use a wider frame angle, something that shows your full body as you're practicing the skill. So now that you've decided how to film, where you want to film, it's time to actually film. Click record, start talking, and use your previous plan that we did in the last video as a guide for what you want to say and how you want to do it. So remembering introduction, the actual practice of your skill, and then a conclusion. So while I'm sitting here, I would have this nice shot set up and I would film an introduction to the video. So what skill I'm practicing, what the constraint is for this week, and how I'm going to be implementing that constraint as well, and possibly a hypothesis of what I think might happen when implementing that constraint. So this part of the video is where you can actually go to your wide angle shot as you practice your skill. For me, I was learning how to juggle 4 balls. Alan learned how to do parkour. You're all going to have a different skill that you're practicing throughout this assignment. So I would now do a couple minutes of practicing my skill. Still got it. And then you would do a few minutes of implementing whatever the constraint might be for that week. Once you've done your skill practice, you'll come back to this same position and record your little outro. Outcomes, how you found practicing the skill, whether or not you learnt anything that week, how you found implementing that constraint. Again, all of the things that we discussed in the plan. All of these things may take a few shots to get it right, especially with the intro and conclusion. You may need to re-record stuff. You can stop the camera, you can leave it going and cut out bits later on. But again, all of those little mistakes and stuff will be cleaned up when we do the editing later on, which if you click onto the next video, I'll show you how to do.